Hello everyone and welcome to Womansplaining, every woman's favorite TV show and every man's guilty pleasure. Today I'm going to be talking to someone about emotional intelligence. For ages, women have been known to be the more emotional or volatile counterpart of the man, and I put it down to our biological makeup. I mean, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. If you don't like it, take a jump or two. However, men would want us to be more logical, while women want men to be a little more emotional. And the meeting point or the compromise between, I think, the two spectrums would be emotional intelligence. Today, to talk about this with me, someone who I admire and respect because of his regard for the human experience. He needs no introduction. Ike, welcome to the show.
Thank you. You adore and respect me. Oh,
I do. I do. So today, I want to talk about it from the angle of the pressures that men face after they are married. So tell us a little about that.
Well, I don't want to make a huge generalization about every man in the world, but if we're looking at Africa, right, the way we're raised is totally different. Guys are born and they're released. And then
what does that mean?
And the women are born and raised. The African male isn't really raised, like that. He's allowed to just have his experiences, make his mistakes. He's allowed to just go out there and be a boy for all his life until he suddenly has to get married. And then he has to become responsible. I mean, not every guy feels the need to be responsible, but
I mean, that's a shame, but hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. You've grown up being, just living.
Yeah.
I mean, girls are raised in Africa. You're being told every day you're going to be somebody's wife, you're going to be somebody's mother. So you've got to learn how to cook, you've got to learn how to organize. So you find that the girls are maturing a lot faster than the guys are, both emotionally and otherwise. And then eventually you get married, and the guy hasn't really had to process hardcore information to do with responsibility. So now you have a wife, and it hits men at different stages.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family where my mom was a very serious focal point of the family. So I had the concept of marriage in my mind, but the concept of family was still big. So when I got married, it didn't really shock me then. It was when I had my kids and I realized, hold up.
One moment.
Stop. Everybody, and for me, that's where it hit me. Some men, as soon as they get married, they realize, I've got another life to look after. For me, it was when we had the kids, or my first child, my son, and everybody in the hostel is like happy and running around and talking about this, and he looks like that. And I'm like, wait, everybody stop, wait. So I'm making decisions about this boy's life.
Taking him home.
I didn't sign up for this, like I know kids are supposed to come into the picture, but really I'm not responsible. So I'm going to pick a school. I'm going to tell him right from wrong. Who say I don't know right from wrong? I haven't practiced right from wrong. Why am I teaching somebody else? So it's a bit of a culture shock for the average Nigerian guy or African guy, and it's a huge process for him to go through because he's thinking, I have to learn this now, and I'm implementing now. The woman's already there, she's already there.
So how does the woman now cope with this from your experience? Like, what was her response to the shock of your unpreparedness, I would say?
Yeah, it's difficult for her to handle. I mean, how can she understand it? Because she's been looking after her siblings. She's been looking after my house. My older sister, she was cooking. She was looking after us. She was making big decisions. She was picking which strangers were safe to talk to from the time we were kids. She was responsible, So how can she understand it? It's difficult, And why are you not an adult? In her mind, she's looking at you, and she's figured this out. Like, she's on the ball.
Why are your clothes on the floor?
Yeah, why are you not an adult about this? What's going on?
Yeah.
And it's hard for him to even process that that's what's happening inside. And even if he's able to, how does he say to her, I don't feel mature enough for this right now. So
because he was the one who asked her to marry him, right? There must be some maturity.
So you have to lie about it or fake it.
I'm
good.
Fake it. I'm not fake it till you make it.
And quarrel about something else. You need to stop leaving the microwave open. You need to stop it.
Just deflect.
Yeah. So for women, it's difficult to understand because they haven't gone through it, or they've gone through it a lot earlier, and they can't process the fact that this guy isn't actually ready, or he's not there, or he's taking some time to adjust to the fact that he's now got a lot more responsibility. And even if you are trained for it, I think no matter how prepared you are, just the fact that if you want to be a really responsible guy, if you want to take care of your family, it's a big shock for you.
Right.
So in my experience, my wife was pretty good. She was hands-on, and I think the burden of a child or a baby, and I hate to call it a burden, but it does take 2 years out of a lady's life. So the amount of work, I mean, the child is there for the rest of your life, but for 2 years you don't own anything on that child. You know, the amount of work that having a child brought was enough to engage her while I was trying to figure out my life, you know, like, okay.
Yeah.
And I also got involved with it, and she gave me room to be involved with, you know, like bringing up the child. So I was hands-on, and you find your feet somewhere along the way.
So at what point do you think you attained, it's weird, but at what point do you think you decided or you started to divide or separate your emotions from the actual issues? Why are you looking at me like that?
That's the tough question, you know, like, because it's like asking, when did you become mature? When did you put away your childish ways?
I remember when I was 12, at 12.
At 12 I became a man, around 3:45. No, I can't put a time to it, but I think also there was a lot of help, you know, between my wife and I. There was a lot of cooperation on the issue. We fought for like 2 straight years trying to get to know each other. It was a bit of a culture shock. I remember waking up one day around, I don't know, it was late in the night. I woke up in the middle of the night and she was there, you know, she hadn't gone home. And I was like, why is she still here? So just having somebody come into your space and be there, you know, is forever. And it dawned on me, like, this chick isn't going anywhere. So we had to have that conversation, like, how do we fight? How should we fight? That's how
profound.
Should we fight?
Yeah.
And for after the 2 years, we decided that, look, our fighting wasn't effective, and you just get hurt a bit too much talking about things that are not the issue. So we made a few rules about how we should fight and things that we should and shouldn't do when we're fighting. For instance, like, you know, when couples fight and one person wants to make peace and the other person is still upset, they're like, don't touch me, leave me alone, or like, I don't want to talk about this, and you storm out of the room. Or you've had a fight about something and I haven't apologized, or I haven't made peace and I haven't come to terms with your side of the argument, but I tried to play with you about something entirely different, and you're like, please,
don't even try it.
You know we're not talking. You walk out, you know, like, no, let's. So we agreed that, look, whenever you see somebody extending a hand or like trying to stretch that bridge across to where you are, rather than break the thing down or scatter it and hurt the other person's ego, accept the bridge, you know.
Because both of you know that, yes, there are underlying issues, but hey, let's just, You
know, and the point is to get to each other.
Absolutely.
You know, so rather than just keep on fighting till one person is humbled and says sorry, okay, fine. I see you stretching out a hand, even though I don't want to touch you right now. I will shake your hand, I will come across, and then when I'm breathing and I'm sane, we'll talk about this and make peace. You know, because at the end of the day, you're trying to get to an end goal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So let me just ask you, instead of just deducing from what you've said, how do you think like this experience can be easier on the man? I mean, it seems like it's obvious, but I'd like to hear you say it.
Well, not to be self-serving, because now sounds like, okay, I've got a solution to make my life easy.
No.
You know, but it's just because that's what I understand, because I'm a guy. I'm sure some girl will give a better explanation for the girl's side of it. But for the guys, you know, every man wants 2 things in life. Peace of mind, you know, and sex. I'm joking. No, no, but peace of mind and praise. You know, peace and praise. So when a guy is going through that process where he's struggling, you know, if you can create those 2 atmospheres, and different scenarios call for different responses. So sometimes he just needs, while he's struggling, he needs you to bring peace and settle his mind. You know, hey, we're doing okay, we'll be fine. You know, like when I'm panicking about all the school fees or the house rent, different things, you know, she has a way of calming me and telling me, look, we're going to be okay, we're good, you know, it's not that serious, it's not that hectic, relax. You know? so you create peace. And then sometimes when he's getting it right, you offer praise.
Well done. We appreciate it.
The guys, we react to praise a lot. So if you want him to start taking out the trash rather than fight him, you never take out the trash. You're a grown man. You eat, you create waste. You should be able to dispose of it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now, just one day, when he picks something up, you're like, I love how you did that. Listen, the way you picked that shoe from the living room.
My world.
I don't think any husband in the world has ever taken care of his shoes the way you do. The way you took your shoes from the living room to the bedroom, my God.
Amazing
I
stuff.
found new reasons to love you. I love it. And bottom line, he's going to just realize, okay, this is something that I need to keep doing.
Yeah.
Rather than fight about it, you could just
Yeah,
praise him.
and I think that beyond that, I think that the society as well, I mean, you're raising girls, you should raise the men as well. It's unfair to just throw them, into manhood and expect them to pick up, because I think that's the main problem that we have as a society. That's why the feminists are rising now, and some of them get it wrong sometimes, but at the end of the day, that is the crux of the matter. You raise a child, you don't just let them grow. That's a weed. If you want a flower to grow properly, you have to tend it. So weed your garden. That's what it is. Thank you so much, IK. Right now we'll take a break, but we'll come back with more of the show. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. So we still have IK with us in the studio, and we'll be playing a game where we'll be asking him some questions just to get to know him better. Please, can you put 60 seconds on the clock? Okay, IK, so what's your favorite drink?
I'm going to be honest, pineapple juice, fresh.
Yeah.
Ordinary.
Okay. Favorite color?
Green.
Green, yeah, okay. Movie that best describes your life?
Ooh. Greatest Showing.
How? Okay, let's just move on. Next question will be, have you had any most embarrassing married moments?
Nothing serious, just whenever we go to a theme park, because she likes all the crazy rides, and I as a logical individual, I think it's just not right to go on crazy rides. It's not that I'm scared.
You're a chicken!
It's not that I'm scared.
Yes, you are.
Think,
you are
it
a
just doesn't
chicken.
make sense for both of us to go on rides, just in case, in the odd chance that something goes wrong.
Okay, so when someone keeps explaining, then you just know they're being chicken.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Any song you have completely memorized? I'm sure you have a couple.
Completely. There's so many of them.
Okay. Okay. What job would you be terrible at?
Anything that has to do with sitting at a desk for more than 3 hours.
Okay, so he cannot be a banker. That's all the time that we have. Thank you so much, IK, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Is there anything that you'd like to say?
Yeah, I think it's important that at breakfast, plantain should always be accompanied by egg. Like, it's a standard thing. Like, people need to get this. I don't understand why people are still struggling with this knowledge.
The guy likes his plantain and egg, okay?
Egg needs to follow plantain.
Thank you, IK.
Okay.
So he wants his plantain and egg. You guys, it's always fun here at Womansplaining, but that's all the time that we have. See you next time. Bye-bye.